Hello, and welcome back to Satisfactory. As we left off in our last recording, I was putzing around with the oil refineries and the generators, and I've now got that all complete. We'll just do a quick once over here. We have our old original refinery down here, which was organized to make plastic and rubber and some energy. See the 8 old machines down there that probably can go away very soon. So we'll actually have 2 normal nodes for oil. Got the 2 pure oil nodes. There's the far one that I upgraded. It's got its 10 generators out back, and you can see if you look carefully the 8 generators, the 8 refineries dealing with the oil. The recipe we can see down here a little better. Okay, we're not going to go down and take a look at it because we don't want to hang around here very long. But we have 8 refineries making heavy oil residue mainly. And as a byproduct of heavy oil residue, we've got some resin coming out. We're going to route the resin around to the left. We've got 4 refineries, 2 making plastic, 2 making rubber, just to kind of sink that. And we have a sink. So if there's any resin that can't be consumed by these 4 machines, we will put it in a sink so that it doesn't back up the system. That makes sure that our 8 refineries here don't stop. Well, they could stop if we back up the fluid system, but we'll see why that isn't a problem. The heavy oil residue gets put in a tank. You can see it there with the purple top. So we have a nice nice big buffer for that. So we've got bursty production coming in. We've got bursty consumption going out. If we balance this right, every morning when I log into the server, this guy should be full. And it'll go up and down, or nearly full. If I have balanced it wrong, it'll be empty, and we've got problems. That feeds into 6 refineries that are making fuel out of the heavy oil residue. And that's a 1-to-1. There's no extra inputs. There's no byproducts. We're just done. So these guys will run and they will turn all of the HOR that is available into fuel. The fuel feeds these 10 guys down here. So these each take 20 per minute. So we can sink 200 fuel per minute out of there. I think we're making 216. So in the long run, we should end up with this tank being full. And these machines don't all run completely flat out all the time. Also down there, we have a machine turning some of our plastic into jugs, fuel canisters. And we have a filler that makes fuel canisters and tosses them in a box. I've actually done this in 2 places. That makes sure that you have some use for all of the materials that you're building. It does mean that if we are going flat out boxing up fuel, we don't have enough fuel being made to keep the refineries running. So we start out with everything all completely full. And then as I use packaged fuel, it will draw out of our tank there and out of our tank over there. So that's the oil. That's done. We now have more than enough power. Well, we have 5.54 gigawatts of power. If everything in our factory was turned on and running full steam, it'd be using 3 out of that. And currently we're using 1.5. So we have a lot of headroom. Now, what do we do next? Well, we're being told build the space elevator, and our next milestone is industrial manufacturing. And I remember picking that because all the other things we wanted to do, all the other milestones we could research, used products of industrial manufacturing. That gets us our fabricator that has 4 inputs. I think it's called a fabricator. I'm thinking about blueprints. We have stock blueprints for 6 constructors, and I think we have a stock for. I think I got distracted making the stock blueprint for assemblers and ended up making one specifically for motors. So I do have a stock. I do have a stock blueprint for 3 assemblers. We can see it over there. Okay. The question is, do I want to make a stock blueprint for the assembly machines? We got our jets on and our nice fuel. Oops. The jets are nice if you're going to be jetting around and you have places to land. And they allow you to go up. The parachutes are nice if you're on the power. So I tend to switch over to parachutes when I am on the power lines. Because if I fall, the parachute allows me to go and glide a long way. Jets don't allow that. So I have prepared boxes here for the first 2 things I want to unlock. First one is industrial manufacturing, which requires that stuff. And we see it there in the box, 200 motors, frames, plastic. Okay, so we're going to grab that box. And I am going to put all of the stuff in here. So before we release this, industrial manufacturers can manufacturer, not fact. So we can do manufacturers, which take 4 inputs and produce 1 output. We will be able to make computers, heavy modular frames, and these 2 guys, adaptive control units and modular engines, which are going to be needed for the space elevator for our next delivery. And we need to do that soon. Was there another part? So I think that gets it to us. Blueprint Designer Mark II will need to get heavy modular frames and computers to be able to unlock it. But that means we can make 5x5 blueprints instead of 4x4. Which means at that point, I need to take up my entire area here and replace it. No, it doesn't. It means I need to work out a way to transition from my area that has the 4x4 blueprints into an area with 5x5 blueprints. And I'm also going to think about, do I want to do a whole new set of base blueprints? Say, stock, here's a 5x5 blueprint that does a whole bunch of constructors. I think we'll leave that for the next phase. We're coming close to 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure. So 7, 8 are phase 3. When we get into phase 4, I need to start thinking about my actual permanent buildings, because we're going to leave this factory running for a while. I want to do the golden net, which means we need to make interesting, complicated things and feed them into the fix-it place, into the sink. But let's send off the industrial manufacturing. Train technology will be probably next. What does this get us? I'm not going to be using trains during this phase, maybe next phase. I don't really have any stuff that I need to move long distance. I've got this one factory, I've got the other factory up the way, and we're just feeding it into me building things. We don't have any real high rate. Tell you what, let's see what it will take to build the things that the base elevator needs before we decide. Let's do that. So the next obvious things are we could go trains to move stuff around between our bases. We may even open up a new base at this point. We hit the grass, the greenfield area, and then we moved up to the desert area. We could start moving eastwards and hit the next spots to start. There's a really nice forest area. I've got my friends have a base that I am part of. We've got a friend group that plays the game together. It's up in the forest. We don't play very often. We have other things that we prefer, but we sometimes play Satisfactory. There's a base up there, and then of course there's the big desert way out to the east, which we need to explore in 1.0. I haven't been there yet in 1.0. But in early access, it was big open area, mostly nearly flat. You could put a foundation over the top of it if you wanted a big flat area. Where you could hide buildings down in the little hills areas. Kind of a neat place, but chock full of resource nodes. Anyway, so train technology, in case we want to have all these bases work together. We have pipeline technology to increase our pipes to Mark II, which is 600 per minute fluid, as we can see there. I don't remember the Mark II pump having an increased head lift. So this means that one pump could now raise our fluids to 50 meters above the pump. Yay! So we need to decide which of those we want to open up next. But I think in the 13 minutes we have left before this comes back, we need to put down the space elevator. And we do have sufficient materials in the depot to build it. Yay! Because I'm carrying hardly anything. And I want to take from inventory before depot. No, let's take from inventory before depot. Otherwise, as you build and delete things, you build something from the depot and you pick it up and it's in inventory. Then you build from the depot and you end up accumulating things. Where do I want to put the space elevator? We've got our beginnings of a bus here with really fundamental parts. We have to add stuff to it. I'm beginning to think that we're going to want to add some more parts to this bus. Probably want to widen it so the bus is 4 foundations wide with a walkway down the side and then our 5x5 areas eventually. But I don't know how far that's going to go, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put the space elevator out here. But there's a 10 wide space there. Let's make this all concrete. We'll do a 10 by 10 concrete area bordered by strip metal. Yeah, bordered by crep metal. So we need to foundations, concrete foundation, and 10 by 10. We need to zoom you by 9, so you're 10 by 10. Rip metal out there. Here we zoom you by pick you across. And I think I'm going to have to raise this. So let's pick him. Let's actually just go. Bad idea. Let's make it a little bit fancy. Can I reach? I don't think I can quite reach that. Trying to work on the far side. This would build an 8x8 area. I've forgotten what the size is that we need for the base elevator. Sorry, I talk slow while I'm trying to lock this in. And for the corner pieces, corner ramp. It's kind of a boring corner. There's are more exciting architectural ways to build the corner. I'm not exciting architect. So the question is an 8x8 area big enough to build a space elevator? I don't think I need to fill the whole thing in just to get a trial fit. What I should do here, this should actually be 2 of those 4x4 blueprints. Filter to make sure I don't take off my surrounding ramps. Blueprint. Foundations. Got a thin concrete base I could use. Come on. I should be able to place this. So the center should be here. Why is it putting it low like that? I need to put it its edge. Do I put it in from the bottom? Guess I have to put this one in from the bottom. Okay, that gets to the right level. And now we can flip blueprints to blueprints. Yeah, that's much faster to build out. Now we go back to here. And space elevator. So it fits in the 8x8 area. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's the center line. Put him on there. So 8x8 actually gave us some walking space. That's good. And we've got these contact around back. These ports that you put things into the space elevator, I don't think they ever can be made to actually line up. I'm thinking from taking these, we'll use straight mode to bring them out the back. Like here. I'll just kind of drag these out as my stake in the ground. Where we're going. Middle. You go there. Up to there. So what do we need to do here? Okay, so 2,500 versatile frames, 500 of those and 100 of those. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting to plan. So by the time we have finished our phase 3 unlocks, we need to have a plan for building a factory that can generate that amount of stuff. Well, I'm okay with generating it at a low rate and letting the whole system run overnight to do it. I mean, 1 per minute is 60 per hour. 1 per minute of something you need 2,500 of is probably not a good thing. So the next step is to start putting together the recipes that we've got, figure out what resources we need. And I'm thinking that instead of wasting time, the factory will move, wasting time and not having anything going, I am going to look at what we need for our next unlocks. I'm going to work on that first. This guy needs computers and heavy modular frame. That's what we've got. Guy needs heavy modular frames. How many computers do we might have some computers over here. I've been picking up stuff as I find heavy disk drives. We don't have any computers stuck away. I may have already used them. I've got 9 computers left. I grabbed a few of them. From crash sites, but I didn't get very many. Well, our next unlock is this. And I kind of set aside materials for it. So we'll go with the trains. Now, I think 5x5 blueprints make it so you can do a decent blueprint for a train rail segment that is not totally cramped. By which I mean a power thingy in the middle and 2 railways on each side. But we'll see when that unlocks. Oh, weird. I thought it was going to take longer to gather materials to build the space elevator. I was wrong. Well, versatile frameworks we already have. We know that. Let's take a look at what our recipes actually are. So production, we have a manufacturer that is new. I'm going to drop one down. Hey, let's drop it down in here. Start with our standard blueprint. Building foundations there. That's all. I'm not sure we're going to fit under that ceiling. These things are big. Manufacturer. So this needs to have 4 inputs, which means 2 inputs from each side, essentially coming in from that side and the other side. Maybe I can bring them in front. We want to center it up this way. We've got that. We don't need much space for routing the outputs. I think he's mostly centered. And I can place him, but he does pierce this, so I may be... Oh, I know. I can do a blueprint that has 2 of these, one above the other. And the answer to that is no, I can't. It's too tall. I might be able to do it if I put it all the way down at ground level. So I think the standard blueprint for this guy is going to need to wait until I have a larger area. Let's move this along here. So we grab the box full of stuff for the trains. Pipes. Now, I actually ran out to the other base to grab a whole bunch of steel beams. We don't have steel on this side of the world. We do have some coal. Send this. We do have some coal in the northwest, up here. And I kept saying, well, we'll reserve the coal for power. We don't need coal for power anymore. So this coal and this iron could be used to do steel. Currently up there, we're building concrete, and we're using the iron-only recipes to get encased industrial beams, also known as encased iron pipes. So I could tear all that up and reset this area as my steel foundry. And out of the steel foundry have another source of pipes along with a source of iron beams. So beams and pipes coming out, and then encased industrial beams. And I kind of balance all three of those so that all of them get boxed up and all of them get put into the depot. And I think, correct me if I am wrong, but let's see, steel pipe. Let's take a look at what it takes to make steel pipe. This is the stock recipe for steel pipe. 2 pipe from 3 ingots, and the ingots take basically 2 iron and 2 coal. So we're alternate steel, solid steel ingots. 2 iron ore makes 2 iron ingot, plus 2 coal makes 3 steel ingot, which makes 2 pipes. So 2 of each, make that. This guy, 20 ore, excuse me, make 5. So 4 iron ore versus 1 iron and 1 coal, 1 iron. 2 coal and 2 iron. Yeah, 2 coal and 2 iron to make 1. 1 iron and 1 coal. So we do want to use steel pipe because we have coal. I used iron pipe so I didn't have to use coal, and that meant I was using a lot more iron. That means I want to pick up the iron pipe that I'm making here in the base, and instead I want to make it remotely. So that may be our first train run, is to put our steel foundry up here and then use a train to bring it down. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what we need to make. But we should now have trains. We're not going to start making those. Kind of like the hypertube. We will need those later, but I haven't really started making them yet. That's because when we get going on the main factory, we'll end up with these transit areas going from one major factory area to another, assuming I build what I've got in my head. I may have much larger plans than I actually build. But the idea is transit corridor that provides railways, probably 2 going each direction, and power. Okay. Now, the power does go through the railway. Yes, I know that. But if you have a power tower in there, okay, now you not only have an explicit power connection that you can look at, but you also can use your little wire thingy to go all the way down and get off anywhere you want. And then you've got hypertubes, which are always end-to-end. You can't get out of the middle of a hypertube. So hypertubes for fast end-to-end transit, and power towers so that we can use our zip line to move along, and then the railway. Trying to put all that together, I think that's going to require a 5x5. Anyway, so what are our recipes here? Let's copy those into my editor real quick. Let's get that going. Whoops. Do that. Documents satisfactory. Recipes recbook.org. Manufacturer. I have a. You have a thingy set up to collect manufacturer. I will turn this on. So I have verified that we have a recipe called flexible framework. And it's still locked. Okay, so I've verified that it exists, but I haven't actually brought it. So modular engine. Take a look at modular engine recipe real quick. This is time 60 seconds. It takes 2 motors, 15 rubber, 2 smart plating, and produces 1 engine per minute. Oh boy. We need 500 of these. That's going to be 10 hours. If we use one machine. Minimize the window. It still showed in OBS, but adaptive control unit. Yeah. The dangers of a global search and replace of unit with unit star. Adaptive control unit like that. There's the recipe. Copy it up here. Time. That used to be 120, now it's 60. Yay! Automated wiring, it used to take 15 every 120, now it takes 5. This is same rate. Oops. 2 computers makes 1. So it's 1 every 60 rather than 2 every 120. Got it. And less automated wiring total. Heavy modular frame. Workhorse thing. I remember building factories just to make heavy modular frames. Every 30 seconds, we take 5 modular frames and 20 steel pipe, 5 EIBs, and 120 screws. So the requirements, steel pipe and screws went up. This is going to be, it's going to be steel. We'll probably use steel screws to get local production of screws at a very high rate. Yeah. High-speed connector. We did unlock some stuff in the MAM. High-speed connector is one of them. So this guy says every 16 seconds we need 56 quick wire, 10 cable, and 1 circuit board. So if we're going to build a train system, we need to have a train moving quick wire from our Caterium out here, or move Caterium ingots around and build the quick wire locally. Six of one, half a dozen of the other. If we're using trains, downside of trains is they would deliver an entire container of stuff. I could do a trainless base. I could use belts for everything. I don't know what that does to our base, but it's an idea. It would be different from what other people do. Now, SAM fluctuators, I don't think that I had a recipe for SAM fluctuator. So SAM fluctuators, time. This guy is every 6 seconds. Reanimated SAM. 6 of them. And wire. Need 5 of them. Need 3 steel pipes. So SAM fluctuators, I've been building those by hand as needed, because when you build the depot, you need 1 of the spheres, 1 Mercer sphere, and 10 of these fluctuators. I also built a whole bunch of them just standing there while I was doing something else. And I unlocked another stack for the depots, and I unlocked faster uploads for the depots. Okay, we can automate computers now. Computer factories are interesting. Look at that. I do want to have a high-rate computer factory somewhere in the world feeding to me. So this is every 24 seconds. We need 4 circuit boards now. Oh, that reduces the cost like crazy. And 8 cable, 16 plastic, and no screws. Yay! No more screws for the computers. Yay! There's probably an alt recipe that's better. So, yeah, I won't know what these are. These not yet verified. These are the recipes I had in this file during update 8. And as we see, there are adjustments. So, beware, beware. Crystal oscillators. I've also been making crystal oscillators by hand as I need them. I needed 5 of them for the 5 of them for the fuel generator each, and then 5 of them for the Explorer. Oh, I opened up the Explorer, so we now have a fast little go-kart. Crystal oscillators. The actual recipe is now every 120 seconds, 36 quartz, 28 cable, 5 reinforced iron plates, makes 2, so that is unchanged. Gas filters. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be automating production of gas filters. We'll find out. Maybe there's a building that takes gas filters to do something. It's 8 seconds. 2 fabric. That is just plain coal, isn't it? 4 coal and iron plate. So that also is simpler. Hey. So those are our new recipes for the manufacturers. By running all of the Python code in this file, I regenerated the recipe data file. And while we were futzing around, the thingy came back for the trains. I haven't set aside the resources for railway signaling yet because it needs 50 computers. Pipeline engineering needs 50 heavy modular frames, so we need computers and modular frames at least in some quantity. And we need both computers and heavy modular frames there. So we are going to be, oh, the cmf.org. So I want to, actually, there's something I was doing. I augmented my planning software to give me a list of recipes. We'll start off with that. We're going to do the whole planning thing here. Oops. HMF. So we only have one recipe that produces computers, and we only have one recipe that produces heavy modular frame. That makes sense because we just unlocked them. Count. If I want to do one of each, we have a manufacturer doing each. What are our imports? Screws, plastic, steel pipe, cable, circuit board, EIBs, modular frames. Oh boy. And we need to make, let's look at this. I need to make 50 computers, 50 frames, and I need to make 150 of each one. Oh boy. Now, normally all of this has quantities in number per minute. I'm just going to do number. Oops, fill. So we're going to ignore the number of machines this requires. We're going to ignore the /m. So what this means is that I'm going to need 600 circuit boards. 1,200 cable, 2,400 plastic. And we need 6 manufacturer minutes. Is that right? Yeah, 150 per minute would require 60. So do one, it'd be 60 minutes. So this means that one you manufacture on each one, and we're done in under 2 hours. But we need all of that input. Oh boy. Circuit boards we are not automating yet. Cable and plastic are automated. So we need to add circuit boards to this. Instead of 150, let's divide that down into some rate that's reasonable. What if I say, let's plan on it taking an hour? That's 2.5 machines. Let's just run 2 machines on each one of these. I'm going to fix that real quick. Planner. So we basically pick up a list of options. This is all just really crappy Python. What we call run, I want to collapse out all of the blanks from opts. Let's do this the scummy way. Convert it to a string, and if it comes up blank, we're false. This is really return. X is not none, and tick not equal to okay. So now all the places in here where I did this, packed is really what we come in with. Let's leave the rest of it alone. I get it working first, and then I will remove the support for blank stuff later. That should have made it so that I do the right thing. Oh, recipe, I only have one recipe for circuit boards. Okay, so our import screws are automated, or I can just do them on site. Plastic, steel pipe, cable, copper sheet, IBs, modular frames, those are all automated, but they're kind of scattered to the wind. Plastic is to the south. Steel pipe is available locally for now until I make my new thingy. The steel pipe is local. Encased Industrial Beams in the north. Modular frames I've got local. So I've got everything. I just need to bring it all together. So that tells me, let's turn this off, is I am going to need a train bringing my plastic up from down here, and a train bringing my EIBs down from there so I can automate here. So we do need to build some trains, yeehaw, but it's real simple. We don't have signals yet. We do not have signals, which means basically I can either have one train going up and down the line. So I have a station at that end with a loop at that end, and a station at this end with a loop at this end, delivering stuff. It all goes over one rail. That can be pretty crappy. Or I can have a blueprint where I've got one rail going each direction. The whole thing is a big loop, so I can keep multiple trains going as long as they... can't do that because one train will catch up to the next one, and they'll crash. So until we have signals, I can only have one train that could use any given stretch of track. Which means what I want to automate here. Let's get a handle on what this looks like, since I'm gonna have to make a train station. So we have a train station here. Holy shnikes, train stations do not fit inside the blueprint designer. Or do they? Hold on. Let's get this absolutely centered. I think it is just a little bit too wide. Yeah, it's a little bit too wide for a... Oh, joy. So we are going to have to build our train stations by hand for now. Well, let's do it. I need a train station going north. I need to have it elevated so that it goes over the terrain. And I would like to have a blueprint that has a nice look to it, replacing the rails. Don't want to do this yet. I'm not ready to do this yet. I need a bigger blueprint generator. I need... I need to get a top-down view. I need to work out where to put my train stations here so that I can send one rail north and one rail south. And then I'm going to need to work out how I'm going to get my rails to be nice and level. Long term, I want to put my rails on the same level as these, so the rails go by left and right. So I think what I'm going to do is have my first rail station off to the right of this guy, have his rails head north. We need to have a... Put it on fire. Let's start off using the concrete slab. No, let's... base. Use the concrete slab as our base here. I still need my power low. Power line. Let's set up conveyor belt, lift hole, lift, and merger. There we go. We'll have, this is going to be what I need to make my train station areas. We need the foundation, as I said. Now let's use the thin base. And transport. Train station, freight platform, railway. I will put these down manually from this guy. Putting those in to act as kind of a framework, and we will put our first foundation. It's putting it on the bottom again. That works. So we want these guys. Let's put grip metal down. Take a look at how big our 4x4 area really is. I believe our train station is just absolutely maxed on this. Want him there, and we want our arrivals to come straight in, and our departures will loop around and go. Train station. I put him on the hotbar for a reason. Set her this way. Going to move him all the way to the end of the blueprint. Because I think we can make the turn in this space, and we'll do that on the next blueprint over. You are old. Still deliver. And we're going to put another blueprint next to you. Let's just zoom that out. I could tell this is already going to be a painful thing. Interesting, when I walk through here, that bumps me up. How did somehow I was flipped through this rail. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. That worries me. We're at the right level. And you're up. Great platform. These have direction. They have direction in the sense of they load and unload from one side. Let's do it from that side. And this clips on very nicely. What am I going to bring down from there? I am bringing encased industrial beams from the north. We need 10 of them per minute for each manufacturer we build at this end. And one manufacturer is an hour. No, I want to wait on building the rails until I can do a good job of it. This is not going to be a good job. What I will do is I am going to do a high belt here on this line. Let's wipe out this bar. So he starts with power and a belt and the normal things. So basically like this. Full and vertical. This is because I have muscle memory for those. And a conveyor merger. Blueprints. We're not going to blueprint this. Didn't get them all. It's fine. We're going to bring it over to here, and then we're going to bring it down. And we'll work out what to do after we get it brought down, but eventually it's going to have to join up with that main bus. Maybe I'll put it on a top layer. That'll make it difficult to bring down through the lower layer. The top layer is going to have an intermediate layer where we can bring it down from the top layer, split it, and then bring it out to the side. So this bus is going to be growing vertically. Meanwhile, though, what do I want to have it look like here? Foundations. Our base for our stuff. Let's do the fix-it foundation because this is really we're running our products around. Got one product coming in here. It's going to go down. It's going to head down there. So there's the layer where our existing belts are. That's the layer where we're going to do our splitting and merging. I think that gives us enough space. Let's go one more. Oop. 1 meter. We'll trim this. I could bring it over the other one. Okay, so it could come down there. Hold on. That's 7. Gonna make it symmetric. Oh, I forgot. Blueprint Designer's in the way. So, yeah. Can bring him this way. Coming from that way will be our plastic and or rubber and or power. Let's see, what do we need here? We can look at the editor real quick. Net imports, we've got plastic as a net import. So we only need plastic from down there. Plastic is the thing that's actually in short supply down there. I may have to build a plastic factory. That's okay. We've got another rubber node. We have to build another plastic factory to support our plastic requirements, then we can do that. It's too bad that we didn't have enough railroad stuff that I could go directly to railroad for this one. This really is not that long a run. Long term, we will be bringing back steel beams and steel pipes from here as well when we rebuild this. Maybe sooner than you think. So the encased industrial beams, all made down in that central area, towards which we are proceeding with haste. See, I've got my jetpack on. Probably should have put on my parachute while I was setting these up initially. I'm going to run this. If I run all the way back, I'm going to interfere with the ladders. Yeah, let's ladder down over here. There. So I could arrange for the EIBs to come over this way. Let's take a look at this. So this trough is being used to feed resources into this guy. I'm not sure I have the ability to bring these across in the trough. Or I might. If that middle line is unoccupied. So instead, we would bring it out this way. We would arrange for a merger over here. Why did I jog that across? Oh, I jogged it across so it was nicely laid out. Let's do it from the top. I am going to reorganize this. We have 2 full boxes of EIBs down here. And in both cases, we're coming down and we're jogging to the right to go down to here. We're going to rework that. We may need to move the boxes, but that's easy. Oh no, I need to hurry up and complete this before I use all of these EIBs. Yeah, we're good for a while. My idea is we merge all this together coming this way, and primarily it feeds up to our transit. And then somewhere here we have a splitter, which allows some of them to come down and feed back into our stocks. The alternative is that we put our stocks in line. I could put the stock in line. That's actually a better idea. So we're going to put the industrial containers back up here where they belong. So we'll have our buffers in place up here. And we can, in fact, have the depot uploader on top of the buffers. That works. That works. Yay! So first thing is I need to drop everything I'm carrying, because this is going to fill my... Whoops. Out of fuel. I dropped everything I was carrying. I dropped my fuel. Oh. Organization. Storage. Pointing the right direction. On center. where it fits. Dimensional depot up top. Get all of those. That acts functionally as a splitter. Since the two outputs, each one of them can drain anything that's in there. So that's coming down dead center in the middle, which is going to be bad for putting in a merger, so this is really in the wrong place. Needs to scooch over so we can put a merger in, and where are these guys coming from? Okay, coming from that direction. I need to move the concrete line over so I can have my outputs not cross it, or I could let my outputs cross it. I think I need to not have my outputs crossing my inputs. Means we need to bring him in here. This will give us a chance to upgrade this to tier 4 and to Mark 4 anyway. Better from my direction going that way. Barrier belt is too long. Somewhere in the middle we need to drop in stop. All of this for what should just be a little simple thing. But you do have to refactor your factory now and then. This guy also needs to drop by 1. Can I just bring that in directly? Can you clip to you? You can clip to you. They are golden. And that leaves the close-in lane for these arrivals coming from below. The far outside lane for our delivery. Now we also want to split. No, we don't. What do I want to do for backups? I think what I'm going to do is put the overflow. Put that on the far end. That does mean that we're going to be draining out of these boxes. We have overflow or not. The overflow has to go for boxes, I think. Yeah. Okay. So the smart splitter has to go before this box if I want to smart split them out. Do I want to do that? Don't need to do that. If the boxes fill and the depots fill, these machines can't idle without causing any undue problem, and I'm not so hungry for coupons that I need to aggressively. Now, to merge into here, I don't want to clip too badly into here, but we're all going to get. Merger needs to go here. See that way. You know what? This is hidden. Get this up. Oh, that's right. I'm out of fuel. We're going to need to do that same dodge to move these up above too. It has been completed. Down, keep up. You. Completely unimportant upgrades, but I'm just kind of going with the flow on making things consistent. Okay, concrete is back. That guy over there needs to come to here. Don't need to have a splitter or a merger or anything on him. Just need to put the hole in the right place. He needs to go down one level. Huh, interesting that that actually clipped in even though it was too short. Makes me wonder. I have never worked this out, but I have seen people manage to get a vertical clip between merger at that level and a merger at that level. And I've never actually worked out how to make that happen. Merger. Going out that way, that line. Oh, try that again. I'm going to move this over by one. That really is beginning to be the kind of clipping that I don't like. You. The other thing that struck me was that all of this sandwich layer stuff I'm doing with the thing at the top, thing at the bottom, It's equivalent to just putting a single 4-meter high foundation in here, except that you can't run around inside of it. Once you get it sealed up, if you don't really need to be revisiting these guys, we just put a single 4-meter high foundation in it and just hide all this stuff. Do be sure though that it's working properly before you do that. This guy needs to go from here back to this pickup spot. And there we have it going up.